Sebaceous cyst, the way I've said, it contains both keratin and sebum. That's it. Have you completed writing? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good. Now,
স্যার পাইলারে অবস্ট্রাকশনটা কেন হচ্ছে আরেকবার বলতে পারেন? ও
sir,
কেটে গেছিল
due to the sebum, sir, this is the sebum plug. The blue dot is the sebum plug. The sebum plug.
ওকে স্যার থ্যাংক ইউ
Sebum plug. Okay. Now, what are the complications of a sebaceous cyst? Complications of sebaceous cysts are number 1, infection. Number 2, abscess formation. Number 3, cellulitis. Number 4 is calcification. Number 5 is rupture that can be large rupture producing an ulcer-like appearance, which is called as Koch's peculiar tumor, which is technically seen with scalp sebaceous cyst. Number 6, rupture, which is small, leads to keratin horn formation. So that means if this one is the sebaceous cyst, slow rupture will produce a horn formation. Okay, so looks like someone has a horn. Very good. So keratin horn formation. Okay, or some people call this as sebaceous horn formation. So these are the main things that you are required to know. Rarely a cancer can form, which is called as sebaceous carcinoma. Please tell me when you have completed this. As such comes as a short note, is a very common Viva question. Hello.
Done, sir.
Completed writing? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Good. Very good. So, what is important is, so this is all about sebaceous cysts. Now, what is the treatment that you have planned in this patient? So, the treatment that I have planned in this patient is excision of sebaceous cyst. But this is all that the examiner wants to hear from you. Nothing of an interest. Some important points to know in this point are, in a case of a scrotal sebaceous cyst, what is so special about a scrotal sebaceous cyst? Scrotal sebaceous cysts, please remember, there are multiple sebaceous cysts which you will get. Strawberry is not exactly, I do not know. Why will people call this to be a strawberry scrotum? I am not very happy with the term strawberry scrotum. But what happens is, if this
Recording stopped.
If this is the skin of the area, then what happens is that these are the multiple cysts there are on the scrotum. Okay, multiple cysts of the scrotum. Okay, am I audible now? Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Okay, right. So what is important is examiner will ask you what is the, this is not a very common finding, but if the hospital has one such case, some people will be giving you. So as you can see, the scrotal skin has a rugosity. So the examiner will ask you what is your diagnosis. This is a spotter diagnosis. This is a sebaceous cyst of the scrotum. What is the typical complication that this scrotal sebaceous cysts can undergo? Sir, it can undergo calcification. It can undergo calcification. That is the peculiarity. We do not know why will it occur. So this is the main point to remember. Some examiners will ask you, what is this English nickname for this? This is a very funny question and quiz question maybe. English nickname for multiple sebaceous cysts in the scrotum is also called as a wen. W-E-N. W-E-N. Okay? Bus. So this is all about the last point in the scrotal sebaceous cyst is the treatment is not only an excision of one cyst, treatment is excision of scrotal skin, excision of scrotal skin, okay, and then mobilization of the rest of scrotum to cover testes. Okay, completed. Hello.
Yes, sir.
So this is another short case, maybe not a very common one, but still some hospitals have this as a surgical specimen also. Very interesting. So we have completed more or less. The pictures for you to write an exercise is this gentleman with a sebaceous cyst in the scalp, and I think I have another picture for you guys. Okay, no, so this is another cyst. Okay, so this completes your sebaceous cysts for a short note for a diagnosis. Now, important.
Don't do any investigation to
Sir,
confirm.
this is a no, you do not need that. So these are cutaneous swellings. You unnecessarily do not need an FNAC to be done because this is something, remember, it is arising from the skin. So it is expected that it will be a dermal pathology. And for a dermal pathology, if you are doing a FNAC, number one, it is unnecessary. Number two, you are going for spillage of the contents unnecessarily. So we do not go for an FNAC. Okay, sure. Now, then comes about the third kind, this patient. I remember I will be talking about fluctuation, and I also have to talk about the definition of a cyst. I know that. So let us start, guys. Just a minute, please. Now, can you see the picture in front of your screen?
Yes.
Good. So this is a 10-year-old boy with a dermoid cyst or technically called as an external angular dermoid. So what is it called as? External angular dermoid. External angular dermoid in that. So this is this part of the cyst. So this is the cyst, and this is what is important. So this completes your what is this case or your diagnosis. Can you see this one, sir?
Yes.
Hello. Good. Now let us come to the case description as such. I think you have seen that this is the right eye. The cyst is located at the outer angle or the outer canthus, that is as we call in ophthalmology. So what is the site? The site is outer canthus, right eye. What is the size? Around 2 by 2 centimeter. What is the shape? Globular. What is the surface? Smooth. Scar? No. Sinus? No. Skin? Normal. Let us see the picture again. The skin is normal. No punctum. No punctum. Surroundings? Normal. Other important findings? No. On palpation, temperature is not elevated. Tenderness not present. Consistency soft. And hence, I look for compressibility, no. Reducibility, no. Cough impulse, no. Fluctuation, yes. Chance illumination, no. What are these? I will be explaining at this end. Mobility is, skin is free. Deeper tissues is free. But there is an important point. On palpation, I can find a bony indentation at the margin. Bony indentation at the margin. Bony indentation at the margin. Lymph nodes. If this is the area, where is the lymph node drainage territory?
The submandibular.
Submandibular is a very nice answer. I will better also think of preauricular.
Preauricular.
Okay, so preauricular lymph nodes are not enlarged. Nerves not involved. Veins no. Artery no. Joint. What is the nearest big joint in this area? Temporomandibular joint, which also appears to be normal. Percussion auscultation, no, not required. Special test, again, I will try to elicit the slip sign. Okay. So please tell me when you have completed writing, and then we'll proceed to the discussion.
The indentation to slip sign is.
Indentation is a sign of slip sign. So you may write no indentation. Okay, very happy. Please tell me when you have completed writing this. Done, sir. Done, na? Very good.
Sir, one second, sir.
Sir, no. ভিতরে কি লিকুইড নেই?
কি নেই?
মানে ভিতরে কি লিকুইড?
আচ্ছা স্যার, this is the reason we have a positive fluctuation.
স্যার তাহলে ইনডেন্টেশনটা হওয়া উচিত ছিল।
না বলছি we are coming to that. We are coming to that. What is fluctuation? What is indentation? We are coming to that.
না স্যার।
If you want to take a screenshot, please do.
স্লিপ সাইনটা পজিটিভ হবে, মানে স্লিপ করবে?
No, I have written positive. Slip sign is only positive in a lipoma. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Done, na? Good. So let us write the questions on this end, and then at the end of this will complete the lipoma, sebaceous cyst, and dermoid, which are the three very major things that all MBBS students must know these questions to pass. Okay, because all exams, all MBBS centers across India are going to ask you these questions, all examiners. And if you cannot answer from these lipoma, sebaceous cyst, and dermoid, this is considered as a discredit. Okay, so let us start then. What is your diagnosis? What is, I have not talked differential diagnosis. What is your diagnosis in this case? I have already told you the diagnosis. What is the diagnosis, sir? 10-year-old male child, dermoid cyst or external angular dermoid. Okay. Next. Why did you say, or what is?
Sir, sleep sign take indentation hole
Sir, we'll come to that, please. We'll come to that. Please complete the writing, the questions for this, so that we'll complete the questions, and then I will talk about what is slip sign, what is fluctuation. We'll talk. What is a dermoid cyst? What is a dermoid cyst? A dermoid cyst answer is a cyst arising from the embryonic layers like ectoderm or endoderm is called a dermoid cyst. Next question. What are the types of dermoid cyst? Answer: sequestration dermoid, then comes implantation dermoid, then comes tubular embryonic dermoid, and teratomatous dermoid. Okay. Please tell me when you have completed writing.
Yes.
Completed?
Done, sir.
Done. Very good. Now, what is a sequestration dermoid? What is a sequestration dermoid? A sequestration dermoid is due to inclusion of ectoderm in between developing midline embryonic plates. That means if this is one embryonic plate, this is another embryonic plate. If these are the two embryonic plates, then remember that these embryonic plates may have at one point of time this swelling which can form a cyst, as you can see in this picture. The blue color line is the cyst wall. The yellow colored material is the content. Okay? Completed? Hello? Completed writing?
Done, sir.
Done. A sequestration dermoid is seen in the midline, congenital lines of skin fusion. Example, outer canthus of eye. Okay. Next, root of nose. Okay. Next thing. So remember, outer canthus of eye, root of nose, anterior fontanelli. Okay. Or scalp dermoid, usually at the fronto-parietal suture. Bus. Hello?
Yes, sir.
On palpation, this kind of cysts will always, as you can see in the picture, this is the bone, particularly the skull bone. This part of the bone is the outer table, something that I've shaded in green, and something that I have now shaded in a deeper color is the inner table of the bone. So the deep green is the inner table, light green is the outer table, and the blue colored material is the cyst wall. So now it is very easy for you to understand. If I now take my fingers at the margin of this, what will I get to feel if I take my fingers? What will I get to feel, sir, if I take my fingers down here? I will be feeling the gap between the cyst and the bone. This is called as a bony indentation. Bony indentation. Bony indentation. How do I feel it for a bony indentation? By taking my finger between the cyst and the margin. What is this bony indentation? As you can see, this is the bone. Addi guddi. Okay? Have I made you understand this point, sir?
Yes.
Good. So this is a very characteristic of what kind of a cyst? Sequestration dermoid. That's it. And hence, if you see the picture that I started the day, this is the cyst in which the examiner can ask you, I'm very impressed. Now, doctor, can you tell me if this is over any sutural line, as you have very rightly said that this is about scalp dermoids with suture. In this patient, the picture that you saw, can you tell me which suture line is this?
Sir, temporal and zygomatic.
Very good. Impressed, sir. That means this bone is the temporal, maybe. This bone can be the zygomatic. So very impressed. I'm really impressed that this could be the temporo-zygomatic suture or frontotemporal and the zygomatic. So any of these can happen at the outer canthus of the eye. That means the bottom line that the examiner wants to hear from you is that this occurs due to a gap in a suture, As you see, these are the suture lines that are developing, and when they are developing, they join together. If there is a problem, that leads to a sequestration dermoid. That's it. This is what you are required to know. Now, what does a sequestration dermoid contain, or any dermoid cyst? What is the content? As we have seen in a sebaceous cyst, it is from the ectoderm. So the content of a sequestration dermoid is always a keratin, which is the material. So it is by a keratin, and what is more important is it contains desquamated paste-like material. Desquamated paste-like material. This completes the description. Please tell me when you have completed writing.
सर सीक्वेस्टेड डर्मोइड की सबसे मिड लाइन ही पाया जाए.
Yes sir, एकदम. I should mark it. It is always seen in the midline, and we are going to see a picture very soon.
ক্যান্সারের এটা তো মিড লাইন হলো না তাহলে ল্যাটারাল
No,
ক্যান্সার
usually in the midline. That's a good point. Usually around the midline. Now see, canthus means midline mane you are strictly maintaining the midline, okay? Consider that eye to be also in the midline. Okay, chalo.
স্যার কনজেনিটাল লাইন্স অফ স্কিন ফিউশন কেন হচ্ছে তাহলে?
Sir, skin fusion, when I remember that skin and ectoderm, the skull, if you see about the development of the skull, they are all from ectoderm, including the bones are developed from the ectoderm, the scalp, SCALP. The periosteum develops from the ectoderm, and hence it is said to be like that. Bones are said to be deriving from the mesoderm. So hence people thought that the periosteum may be the responsible, and hence it is an ectodermal content. That may be the reason. Chalo, okay. Let us come to the next point, sir. Right. We have done with the first kind of cyst, that is sequestration dermoid. There is another picture for you guys to write. Yes, this picture. I think you can see in the picture. There is a big cyst in the neck in the midline. Okay. This kind of cyst, now this is an exercise for you guys, is something called as this is a 42-year-old gentleman with a sublingual dermoid. अरे यहाँ भी dermoid, अच्छा, और sublingual dermoid cyst. Okay. Now, the only point of interest for you guys is that you have to write all the points that are there. The only points of this, understand the only, which is very closely related. So this is usually a midline structure. This is called as a sublingual dermoid. Okay. Now, sublingual dermoids, remember that, are present in what triangle of the neck? Are present in what triangle of the neck?
মেন্টাল ট্রায়াঙ্গেল.
Are usually there in the submental triangle. Now, you must be wondering, what is the age of 42 going to do with this? Maybe that this was due to an embryonic remnant that was present since childbirth. Gradually, it increased in size to attain this age. Okay? So, this is what you are required to remember. The only question to you shall be asked in this point is, if that is so, what is the relationship of this structure with the muscles of the tongue? Like this is the muscle of the tongue. What is the muscle that should be here, sir? And if this blue colored structure is the hyoid bone, what is the green colored muscle that I have tried to make? What is the green? Very, no sir, not exactly. Yes, it is hyoglossus. And if you think around with the mandible, there is another muscle that comes in this point. Can you tell me what is the name of the muscle that helps in production of the? Is genioglossus. You are asked about in a sublingual dermoid. How did you diagnose it to be a sublingual dermoid? Sir, midline, cyst, and the skin is free. Remember, in this point, the skin is free because it is not exactly related to the skin. It is related to the mandible and the bony lines. So sometimes it becomes a very difficult diagnosis to be made. So this is usually a sublingual dermoid. But if you do have this case very rarely in your exams, maybe this may be given as an exercise. But I feel I have only seen it thrice in my life, very rarely in an exam. So this is a sublingual dermoid cyst. Chalo, we'll not be discussing too much of this. Some people are also, they are going to call this to be a lingual dermoid. Some people say, no, sublingual is a better word. Some people, particularly from Bombay side, they call this to be a lingual dermoid.
টাঙের সাথে এটা রিলেশনটা কি হলো মানে টাং উঠলে না
So that means if the patient is protruding the tongue, what will be the difficulty that the patient has? Technically, the patient does not have any difficulty because the muscle that is there in the midline, it is related to something called mylohyoid, which is the floor of the mouth. The other muscles like the genioglossus and the hyoglossus are usually displaced by the swelling and do not cause any problem in tongue protrusion. Okay? So this is the reason about showing you this picture. Do I have any more pictures in this? No. Yeah, we come to the next one. So have I made you understand this point, sir? These are all the things, maximum things that you require to know about sequestration dermoid. For writing even a short note. This is Adani. Talk about the next one. The next kind of swelling that you have in the picture that you are being shown is a rose gardener who presented with a swelling in his finger. So he was a farmer or a gardener. As you can see, now what is the nature of this swelling? The swelling again has the same nature, except that what is the site of this swelling? This is the hand. Which surface of the hand?
Palmar surface.
Palmar surface. Very good. Impressed. What is the size? Say 1 by 1. What is the shape? Globular. Surface. Smooth. Scar. No. Sinus? No. Skin? Anything in the skin? Grossly no. Surroundings? Nothing. Other important findings? Nothing. The only history that the patient gave of interest was that he is a gardener in a rose garden. So as you know, if this is a rose, what are the other things that a rose gardener is always very worried of when he is tending to the roses? Are very good. They are thorn prick. And every thorn prick, what it does is that these thorn pricks, what they do is that they are going to produce the epidermis into the deep layers of the dermis or sometimes into subcutaneous tissue. This is going to lead to the epidermis like this, and below this the cyst that forms because the epidermis has been pushed inside. So this is an example of something called as an implantation dermoid. This is something called as an implantation dermoid. Implantation dermoid. Implantation of what is done? The superficial layers of the epidermis. Okay. Palpation you can guess. Temperature not raised. Tenderness no. Consistency is soft. Compressibility no. Reducibility no. Cough impulse no. Fluctuation yes. Transillumination no. Mobility fixity, it is free from skin and the underlying deeper structure. Lymph nodes, if this is involving this part, Which lymph nodes do you think will be enlarged? Axillary will be long way, sir. Very good. But I will also think of epitrochlear. Nerve, vein, artery, not involved. What is the joint of concern?
Interphalangeal.
Interphalangeal joint. Very good. So joint movements are normal. So the only point that I have done a slip test again, which is not present or negative. Percussion auscultation, nil. Job done. So we have also written another point on something called implantation dermoid. Comes as a short note couple of times in MBBS. Okay. So it is the profession of the patient that becomes important. Okay. Right. Now the last of the two. So what are the two types of dermoid that we have known by this time? Sir, we have known about sequestration and implantation. Okay. So this is an implantation dermoid in the hand. What is the profession of the patient? Rose gardener. Thorn prick is this. Chalo. Now come to the discussion of implantation dermoid. Now when I talk about an implantation dermoid, we have completed the discussion. We have completed the discussion about sequestration dermoid. We have also done this part. So the other two types of dermoid remain. What are the other two parts of dermoid that are remaining? Something that is called as a tubulo-embryonic dermoid. What is a tubulo-embryonic dermoid? You are required to remember two examples. Number one comes as a short case, something called thyroglossal cyst. Number two is something called post-anal dermoid, which is a rare finding. We sometimes do get that cyst. Okay, right. The next of this is something called as a teratomatous dermoid. I hope this is something that is taught by gynecology. Teratomatous dermoid. What is a teratomatous dermoid? Teratomatous dermoids are neoplasms and are typically seen in ovary, testes, retroperitoneum, superior mediastinum, and presacral area. Have you completed writing?
Yes.
Okay. Majority of them at time of presentation, they are always benign. But with time, they can get converted to cancer. Completed? Gynae people are always going to ask you, what is the special nature of this cyst that makes it to be called as a teratomatous dermoid? Your answer is, it contains ectodermal elements like hair and teeth. It contains mesodermal elements like fat and fibrous tissue, and it contains endodermal elements like mucosa. Okay, So like mucosa of the intestine, intestinal mucosa. So you can get a mumbo jumbo of three things here: teeth as ectoderm, mesodermal elements as fat and fibrous tissue, and sometimes as endoderm as a mucosal layer. Have you written, sir? Completed? Hello.
Yes, sir.
Good. So you have completed more or less the last of the two questions on dermoid. Is treatment, and then you go to the discussion on cyst. When you talk about dermoid cyst and the treatment, now for any sequestration dermoid, like the picture that I showed you, all sequestration dermoids, particularly in bony regions, it is mandatory that step 1, do a X-ray or a CT scan and look for intracranial extent. Look for an intracranial extent of the cyst. Look for an intracranial extent of the cyst. Bus. If there is an intracranial extent, yes, send it to a neurosurgeon. They are going to do the operation. If it is no, then go in for an excision. But step 2 is excision. So this is the only thing that the examiner is wanting you to ask.
Sir, look for
Cranial extension. That means, remember the picture that I showed you in this chapter? This one. Now you are getting to see maybe one part of the cyst. This boy could have had, if this is the boy, maybe he has other parts of the cyst also. Say this is the cyst that you can get to see. Maybe that if you think about the bone or the suture, maybe this is the bone that is there, and if this is the bone, so they will color the bones with this so that you can understand this better. And this is the cyst proper, yellow color is the cyst, and this is the cyst lining. Now maybe that it has so happened that this bony fusion did not take place very well, and there is another component of the cyst that is also inside the cranial cavity. Okay, until and unless you do a CT scan or an X-ray, it will be impossible for you to see the cyst. And while you are operating, then the only problem for me is not the cyst that remains. The problem is that this cyst is adherent with the layer called as dura. So by any chance, if you injure the dura during the operation, what is the danger for the patient? If you injure the dura, come on, quickly. Extradural hemorrhage more dangerous than is infection, sir. Infection to the cranial cavity, that is very dangerous. Please remember that. So this is the reason all sequestration dermoids, the picture that you have seen, please do a X-ray of the skull before you put your knife. Why? I need to look for intracranial extension, or CT scan will be a better one. So this completes your 3 most important subcutaneous swelling, believe me, in your MBBS exams: lipoma, sebaceous cysts, and all dermoid. Now, before I go to other swellings, a quick discussion about a few things and methods to clarify. Point number 1, what is a cyst, or how do you define a cyst? A cyst is defined.
Sir, treatment part.
Treatment part. Where did I write the treatment part? Take minute, sir. Complete? Complete?
Yes, sir.
Good. So let us write around a few questions short down. How do you define a cyst? A cyst is defined by a fluid collection lined by an epithelium. Lined by an epithelium. This is the first one. What is a cyst? Okay. Number 2 is that after this is done, any cyst, remember, contains a fluid and is thus either felt as soft, or if there is too much amount of fluid, it will be felt as a firm swelling. Okay, so either it is firm or it is soft. Right. If it is firm and if it is soft, the only sign of concern is something called as a fluctuation, to know whether it contains a fat or a liquid. Now, how do you do this test? Understand this test. Now, if this is the swelling, understand the test kindly. If this is the skin, the black color is the skin, the yellow color is the material that is contained in the cyst. Okay? And these are the epithelial lining of the cyst. Okay, so ... is the epithelial lining, and yellow color material is the cyst. Okay, now what are the tests that I do? First of all, what I do is that I elicit a test before fluctuation, something that is called as slip sign.